Yo guys, what's going on? It's Finn, and today I'm going to be teaching you how I make my own custom thumbnails. So today I'm going to be trying to recreate one of my thumbnails that I made for paying clients, which is this. So what you're going to want to need is you're going to want to need their screenshot or whatever to like base the thing around, and you're also going to need a stock pack as well, just to like help you with making all the like stuff in the background of the design. So first of all, I'm gonna quickly come onto this thing here, press Ctrl J, and it will just copy the layer. So then I'm gonna drag this into here. I'm gonna zoom out a bit by pressing Ctrl and minus, and Ctrl T, and then we're just gonna align that with the YouTube border, so it will look something like that. My screenshot's a bit weird because my print screen button on my laptop doesn't work for whatever reason, so I can't take a good screenshot. So it just ends up looking like that because I had to screenshot it off YouTube. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the pen tool, and we're going to pen tool around the gun. So I'll be back once I've done that. Right, and then once you've done that, once you've connected it all of the lines, it's going to not show all the little dot things anymore, whatever you want to call them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to right click with the pen tool inside of this. You're going to click on make selection. Once there, you're going to press enter or press OK, and now you'll see that it's got like this weird like animated line thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to press Ctrl J, and as you can see, that's going to duplicate that layer. So when we hide this layer, it's just going to be the gun there. So what we're going to do is double click on the text, and we're going to call that gun, or actually I'm going to call it DSR just because it is a DSR. And now we're going to click back on this again, and what we're going to want to do is, I should probably go quickly open up the image again. Alright, so if we look at the picture, which is going to hopefully show up in a second, yeah, I've outlined the feed there, which is what he requested that I do. So in a second, my PC is being funny. Yeah, so we're gonna outline this bit here. Now this is by doing the exact same thing that we did over here with the pen tool on the gun. So what we're gonna do is just gonna pen tool around the kill feed. Something like that, yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click in there, make selection, OK. It will do that thing again. Make sure you are hovering, like you've clicked on the layer, this one here, the like whole thing, because if what some people do is they don't click back on there, they press Ctrl J and nothing comes up. So make sure you're coming up there, because obviously in this thing here, you're just going to basically be copying that, and obviously, you know, there's nothing there. So make sure you're clicking on this layer, Ctrl J, and there we go, we have cut out the kill feed as well. Right, next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on DSR here, and you're going to just left click and blending options. Now this is going to bring up this menu here, and it's basically going to be able to do all the special effects that you see that's currently on the DSR itself. So what you want to do is you want to start off with a stroke. Now I recommend putting the colour white around the outside of the gun, and then I position it on the outside just so that you see pretty much like all of the gun, because if you put it on the inside it just doesn't look right, it looks all squished in, doesn't look as it's supposed to be. So if you put it on the outside, you can see the gun still clearly there and everything. So I recommend putting like a size 4 or size 5, but for this I'm going to stick with the size 4. Now for the inner shadow, I've put like a light blue theme over it, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this here. We're going to go to like a light blue. I like dragging it all the way up because that's always the lightest colours. So I'm going to click on, yeah, I'm going to go there. No, we're not doing inner shadow, my bad. Right, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to click on inner glow, and you're going to click on this little thing here, and you're going to go to the blue section, and yeah, we're going to drag it all the way up as that's usually the brightest. Now you can see a little bit of blue there, but obviously we're going to change that in a second. So the blending mode screen is usually the better one. So what we're going to do is you're going to just make the size a bit bigger than the choke, slightly more. As you can see, if we have like no choke, it's just there, but like obviously if you have choke then it's more elaborated. I don't know if that's a word I should use. But yeah, you can mess with this until it fits your preferences. But yeah, you know, see what this looks like on 100. No, that doesn't look very good. Can't remember what I used for Canvas thumbnail. Yeah, that looks alright. If we do precise, it looks a bit like that. That can in some cases look slightly better, but for this particular thing, because I pen tooled around the outside here, we're gonna just put it on softer. So, and we can also sort this bit out here later on. Next, we're gonna go over to color overlay, and we're gonna make it just that nice little blue color again. And obviously, we're gonna lower down the opacity to like 10. 15, something like that. Oh, not 115. 15. There we go. Looks nice. And then final thing we're going to want to do is the outer glow. So we're going to, once again, it's on screen. It should be there by default. We're going to choose a nice little light blue. I'm going to get the size up, and then we're going to get the spread up as well. Never have the spread above the size, because the size just looks, it just doesn't look right. If we put it there, see, it's all just like a nice thick colour, and then it's just nothingness. You don't want that, because that just doesn't look very good. So we're going to put this on precise, and as you can see, it looks just more glow, and it just looks better. So we're going to lower the size a little bit, lower the spread a little bit, and then we're also going to put the opacity to like 50. And then yeah, so actually what I'm going to do is for the inner glow, we're also going to put that opacity down to 50, and then obviously it looks the same then. So once you're done with that, press OK, and then that's your gun. So for the next thing we're going to do, we're going to edit the kill feed. So you can either double tap or you can left click and do the blending options. I prefer to double click because it's just more convenient really. It saves you having to like left click and do all that. So right, here we are. So what we're going to do is we're not going to put a stroke on, because it just looks silly if it's like outlined like that. So we're going to just put a little tiny outer glow on it. Well, I'm going to anyway. And obviously we're going to change that to the same colour that we've been using, because we're going to stick to the same colour scheme. So we're going to have that there, put the size up a little bit, that up a little bit. Oh god, that looks weird. Right, now we're going to put that back on softer. It's going to have that up like there, put that to like a 5 or something. Looks good, and we're going to put that down to like 50 as well. There can be ways for you to like sort out the little outline bit, because as you can see, there's kind of, it is noticeable. In this one I didn't really bother with it too much because the client said he was fine with it. But just in case you're not really a fan of that, I would go over that with like a rubber or something, or just any other way. But for this purpose, I'm not going to bother messing with that, because it will just take too much time. And in this case, I don't really feel as it's necessary. So we're going to hit OK with that, and then we're going to move on. Actually, no, we're not. Double click again. And because that's obviously got a colour overlay, we're going to put a colour overlay on this as well. So we're going to go back to our nice little light blue. We're going to put that to like the 15. Good. Now for the actual layer itself, we're going to double click on it. And we're going to change the colour overlay, because obviously we want the whole thing to look the same colour scheme wise. Going to put that to like a blue, and we're going to put that down to like 15 or something. As you can see, that looks pretty nice. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to filter, blur, and the best blur that I like to use is Gaussian blur. So you usually put this to like a 4 or 5. In this case I'm going to put it as a 5, and it just blurs out the background, so it gives the gun and the kill feed a nice little depth of field, and yeah, it looks nice that way, in my opinion. Right, next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add the PSD for this VU logo, which is the team that me and my friend who I've made this for are currently both in at this moment in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly find that if I can. I really need to get more memory on this thing. No, it's on my friggin' memory stick. What am I doing? Right, so I'm gonna quickly find that. Okay. Right, so I found that. Now I'm gonna go quickly find the 2D, and we're gonna want to drag that. No, okay, we can't. Right, so because my Photoshop's a bit weird, I'm gonna quickly open this up and drag this down. You don't usually have to do this, but for some reason I have to. I'm going to drag that onto there, and then that's pretty much good to go from there. So what I'm going to do is I like to add a layer style onto this. So if I go onto this packet, I already have these saved onto here, but if I click on this inner glow thing and I click on there, I'm going to save that as like whatever. And then, but I don't really need to because I already have it there. And then we'll see, we're going to go back to here, to this, and I'm going to make sure I'm hovering over that. So I'm going to put, just change it to something that's known, and then we're going to, okay, not that one. Right, so we're going to use this one here, so I'm going to quickly delete this stuff. So I'm going to quickly put this layer style on it here, then it makes the layer just look a lot more transparent. Oh, wrong button. And it makes it just look like you know it's there, but it's not noticeable, if you know what I mean. So what we're going to do is I'm going to quickly lower the opacity of the drop shadow to like say 50. So as you can see, like it's noticeable, but it's not at the same time. Like you know it's there. Like for instance with this, you know it's there, but you know it's just hidden there, and it's not like it's not something that grabs your eye. If you know what I mean, it's just there for effect, and it makes it look nice. So what I like to do is if you press Control and T, you can like rotate them a little bit. You know, that's all good. Then you click on this, you Control J. I'm going to do this a few times because it's good to have a lot of logos all around the thingy. So that's the one that we've placed. So we click on that one, just the copy, Control T, and we're going to just move that elsewhere around. We're also going to like change the height and size of it and whatever. Just going to go put them all over the place. So I'll be back once I've done that. One thing that I would like to mention is that I would have these behind all of the current layers, so that they like go behind them, if you know what I mean. Because otherwise, if they're like going over the things that you want outlined, it's not going to look very good. So that's just something to keep in mind for when you want to like do stuff like this. Because if I say put the feed down here, that's over that, and obviously that's not making it look as nice. So if it's just under there, you know, it looks good. So I can put this one like underneath the gun as well, underneath the DSR, and like it just looks nicer in that way. Right, now that I've done all that, I'm gonna press Shift and I'm gonna click down here, and it's gonna highlight all of these, and I'm gonna press Control and E. That's made them all one layer, so when I hide them all, they will go away, as you can see there. So the next thing we're going to add is we're going to add a new layer. So we click down here to this little page thingy, it looks like a post-it note, and we're going to add the text. So I'm just going to click anywhere and I'm going to type in first, and then we're going to copy and paste that stuff. So first. Now what I like to do is, once I've done that, obviously the number one thing I like to do is this font. It's called Longshot. You can probably download it from DaFont for free if you just type in Longshot, download into Google or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this purple layer style. It was in the 3000 subscriber pack that I just downloaded off the internet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on that. It's the same place that we got the this one for the the view RV. So as you're going to see there, it's like a nice little purple colour. But obviously here we're going to use a nice light blue colour. So we're going to double click on colour overlay. I'm going to wait for that to load up. So we're going to go over to our nice little blue, drag it all the way up, and then that's good. And then we're going to lower the opacity to like 50, so you can see the nice little gradient. You're going from darker to lighter, so that's good. Then we're going to press Ctrl T, and we're going to just make it slightly bigger. You could do this in like the text settings, but I feel it's just easier to do it this way. So we're going to like rotate it, and we're also going to just, you know, not shape it nicely, if you know what I mean. And then what we're going to do then is we're going to press Ctrl J. Well, after I move this thing up, we're going to press Ctrl J, and it's going to make another one. We're going to press Ctrl T on that, and we're going to make it just a little bit underneath it, so that it has enough room to fix text in the middle, because I feel like putting text in there makes it look better. So we're going to click on the little text tool thingy, and I'm just going to type in clips. This is all caps lock, by the way. I recommend doing it caps lock just because it looks better. And so we're going to leave that as the same colour. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to make a new text thingy. And so I'm going to click on new layer, and I'm just going to make a new little text box, and then I'm going to type in view. So in view. So that's good there. Then we're going to go over there, click on this purple layer star thing again, and then we're going to click on the colour overlay. Now if we were to change it to the nice little blue colour, obviously it would just look weird, so I'm going to show you for example now. Put it as the view as that colour, it won't look good. We need to like make it stand out, so we're going to choose like a nice little grey. So we're not going to put all the way white at the top, but we're just going to put it like down here, just so that you can see like the outline and stuff, so it looks nice. And we're going to reduce that to 50 opacity. Now one thing that I've just realised I forgot to do is I forgot to add a stroke, just so it makes it stand out just a little bit more. So for all of these text, we're going to put a stroke of 5 on them, just because I feel as though that looks the nicest on all of them. So I'm going to quickly add stroke to this one. And we're going to add a stroke to this one too, but that's 5. Okay, so now we're going to quickly click back on the in view layer for this text. We're going to do Ctrl T. I made that text box retarded big, but screw it, it doesn't matter. We're going to make it a bit bigger, and then we're going to put that so it's how do I describe it? It's like, it looks like a burger in some sense. You got like the first, and the clips is like the burger bun, and then that's like the stuff in the middle. Because if I quickly show you some other thumbnails that I've created for my previous videos, you would have already seen these if you've already like looked at my old previous videos. But if I show you this last one that I made, if I can find it, so for instance this top 5 plays one, which was the last video I did. As you can see, once it loads up here, I put the number 2 above them lot. I just feel as though it's better than putting it over here, because obviously it interferes with like the gun. And if we put it underneath like I did with my top 5 plays number 1, I don't feel as it looked the nicest. So if you put like text above text here, like obviously, you know, that's still readable, and I just feel that it looks nicer. So we're going to X out of that, and we're going to X out of here as well. Now I am going to make this just a little bit squished, just so it looks, you know, slightly better, and then we can like obviously make it slightly bigger so it's more wider, and then yeah, so we're going to press enter on there, and you know that does look pretty nice. So what we're going to add next is we're going to want to add our stocks. So if you see all this like moving stuff, see that little glowy thing underneath and the little sunburst thing, we're going to add all of that now. So I've got this stock pack off the internet. Right, okay, I'm going to quickly X out of that thing because it's taking up memory and we don't need it. So we're also going to get rid of that because we no longer need it. All about making my laptop quicker because it's crap. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. The sunburst won't be in it because I got that from another pack and just dragged it in here. So what we're going to want to do is the ones that I've used the red light on the bottom. We're going to drag that into here, and then obviously we're going to control minus a little bit, control T, and we're just going to make it slightly larger just so it's a bit more bigger, you know, that much, yeah, around there. And also we're going to want to put this like underneath because obviously they're stocks, they're just like add-on thingies that aren't meant to be seen as much, and I put it under there by accident. I'm going to quickly delete this layer because we don't need it. So lock that. Can I unlock this? Well, can I delete it? Yes, can. Right, sick. So then what we're going to do is we're going to hover over this layer here. We're going to press Control U. Now this is going to bring up a hue, saturation and lightness thing. So what we're going to do is, because we want to have it the nice like blue colour, we're going to drag this over here until it has that nice little blue colour that we're wanting. So over here is really nice. We can also lower the opacity to this, but I don't feel as though it's making that much of a huge effect on this. So yeah, we're also going to put it above the RBs just so you can see that like it's there. So that looks great. Next thing we're going to add is we're going to add this stock. It has these little circle effects. I feel as though they look really nice in designs. So we're going to go quickly find that now. It's called Red Blood. So we're going to click on that and then we're going to drag it into our current thingy. Now I'm going to zoom out of this because I know for a fact that this is very weird. So we're going to press Control T and we're going to just align it with the bloody thingy, and then as you can see that's on that side. If I like zoom in so you guys can see it better if you're like on a phone or something, we got these things on that side and we got them over there. So I mean, I'm kind of an idiot, so I don't fully remember how to like flip it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag the left all the way to the right and then vice versa and then we're going to have that just on there, looking quite nice. So we're going to drag it just a little bit outside of the line just so that we know that the entire stock is within the vicinity of the template, which I also forgot to mention. The template is 1280 by 720. I'll put a screenshot of the stuff that you need right now. I forgot to put that at the start of the video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to zoom in again just because we've got OCD. And what we're going to do to this one is we're going to lower the opacity to like 15 so that you see that they're all there, but they don't like make a huge difference. So that's good. Right, now we're going to do Control U, bring up the hue saturation board thing again, and we're just going to drag it over here to make it that nice little blue colour that we like right there. So the final stock that we're going to add is the sunburst. The sunburst just comes out of the gun and it makes it look just a lot better, in my opinion. It stands out as well. So this won't be in the pack, but like I just dragged it in the pack because it's in another pack and the other pack has a lot of memory, and obviously, you know, I have a crap laptop. So we're going to do Control T. Now what we're going to do is we're going to align the end of the sunburst. If I zoom in here, we're going to align the end of the sunburst with the end of the gun. So, and then we're obviously just going to like make it slightly taller and then like so it's all in there, so it's like covering the entire thingy. We're just going to drag that to the edge of the gun, and we're just going to use the arrow keys just to make it down there. And yeah, so then we're going to press enter on that. Now I prefer having the sunburst above the feed, and obviously then we're going to lower the opacity to like 10, and there we go. That looks pretty good. So actually, if I have the feed above it, no, I'll have it underneath the feed, just like that. Yeah, similar to how it was in the actual thing. So it's not on the gun, but it's on the feed and it's on everything else, and it looks nice. So that's our sunbursted. Right, so next thing we're going to want to add is going to add a color correction. This is going to add the nice little dark effect that's on the entire thing, and it just also changes the color of the text and everything. So I have this preloaded here. It's this stock pipe by Tristan Nelson. He's obviously, you know, good with designing and stuff. So we're gonna just click on this, and like obviously all these like color corrections, they'll change how an image looks. So for this one, I believe I used number 4. Now for some reason, obviously my Photoshop's stupid, so I have to like drag this down and then click on that, and then I'm gonna drag number 4 onto here, and yeah. So now that's, so then we also drag this all the way to the top, and it creates that effect. So if we like drop down on this folder here, we're gonna like just change, we're gonna click on these little things here, but not that one obviously, and we're gonna just make it to our nice little blue, and then we're gonna press OK. So as you can see, it's like already starting to take a huge effect on our blue. And then we're also gonna click on the colors thing over here. It's gonna bring up this like weird like graph thing, and this all changes the color of the whole design, as you can see. So yeah, if we like mess with, oh crap, we don't want to do that. So if I put that back there and then I move it all, obviously you can see it just takes a huge like weird like effect on the design. So if you bring it up, it makes it darker. If you bring it over, it makes it a lot lighter. So up here it's much lighter, down here it's, you know, much darker. So if we have it around this area, we just have a look at this one now, it's like quite dark, so we're gonna add that like there. Yeah, that looks just about right. So then we're gonna click on here, click off there, and then yeah. So well, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the perspective to the text, which makes it look like that. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to click on that, so all the text is hovered. I'm going to press Ctrl E. This is going to do the same thing that we did with all the RV stuff. It's going to make it look like that. So I'm going to quickly rotate it like this, just so that it, you know, it looks nice. So we're going to do that, and then next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on Edit. Then we're going to click on Transform, and we're going to do Perspective. So then we're going to move this up. No, we're not. We're going to move this down, and as you can see there, you know, it's making the text look like it's going from one side to another. So if we press Enter and press Ctrl T again, we can obviously, you know, make it bigger and all that crap. You know, make it look nice. And we press Enter again. And then yeah, that's our text perspective stuff done. So the final thing to do pretty much to this is to add the nice little outline layer around the entire thing. So if we click on make a new layer, we're going to grab the brush tool, which is right here, and we're going to make the size like 100 or whatever, put it to like the soft brush setting. Then we're just going to make like a nice little line over here. Make sure down here you've changed the colour to like the nice blue you want. Mine's already on that by default for whatever reason. I'm going to quickly get rid of that because I kind of messed up. But for this you are going to want to have like a nice little steady hand, just so that, you know, you don't make it go like all over the place and whatever. So, you know, you need to concentrate quite a bit, which is why I'm going quite slowly. So yeah, something like that will do. So where it says here on you, obviously you have the layer selected, you click on that, and then down here we have normal. See, you can do it on screen, however I don't feel that looks the best. So what we're going to do is going to put it on overlay, and as you can see there, like you can see it's like the RVs and like the stocks, you know it's there, but it doesn't make a huge impact on the design at all. So you know it just looks nice. And yeah, so that's basically how I make my thumbnails in Photoshop and for YouTube. Again, I use this as an example, so yeah. Tell us, oh god, what the hell happened there? Right, no, we're not doing that. Side by side comparison is no-go. So yeah, tell me if you've enjoyed this video, if it helps you in any way, shape or form with your Photoshop skill or whatever. Yeah, that's basically it for the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed it, tell us how you feel about it in the comments, if you enjoyed the video or not. But this has been Finn, and peace.